You're bleeped and asked to come to see Jeff, who is a 39-year-old man who's just been involved in a car crash. The paramedics put him into a collar on the scene and drove him straight to the A&E, which is where he is now. He's complaining of severe neck pain, and so you send him off for a cervical x-ray. My name's John, and in the next 3 minutes we're going to cover the unique features of the two uppermost vertebrae, the atlas and the axis. We'll also discuss a little bit about the trauma to these in the form of a Hangman's fracture. The spine is separated into 4 segments: cervical, thoracic, lumbar, and sacral. Today we will focus on the cervical spine. The cervical spine is composed of 7 vertebrae, named from C1 to C7 respectively. Let's start by taking a closer look at a typical cervical vertebra. Generally, a typical cervical vertebra has a rectangular vertebral body and a triangular vertebral canal. The vertebral canal is enclosed posteriorly by the neural arch. Within the vertebral canal is located the spinal cord. The intersection between the neural arch and vertebral body is known as the pedicle. Posteriorly, there are 3 processes which protrude from the neural arch. These are the spinous process, which in the cervical spine is bifid, meaning it splits into 2 parts, and 2 transverse processes laterally, which enclose the transverse foramen. The transverse foramens are traversed by the vertebral arteries which enter the neurocranium via the foramen magnum. The bony intersection between these processes is known as the lamina. The vertebra also have 4 articular processes, 2 superiorly and 2 inferiorly, to allow smooth articulation with the vertebra above and below. The bony connection between the superior and inferior facets is known as the pars interarticularis. The C1 and C2 vertebrae are unique and are named as the atlas and the axis respectively. The word atlas comes from the name of the Greek titan who was condemned to support the celestial bodies on his shoulders for all eternity. In our case, the atlas bone is doing a similar job in supporting your head. The axis gets its name from the fact that it is the axis at which your head rotates around when it moves. The atlas lacks a vertebral body, whilst the axis has a prominent bony column extending superiorly from its body, known as the odontoid peg or dens. The atlas revolves around the dens during rotation. The dens is held in place by a series of ligaments, the deepest of which are the alar ligaments, which connect the peg to the occipital condyles superolaterally. The dens also sits just anterior to a cross-shaped ligament known as the cruciform ligament. This prevents posterior dislocation of the peg. The lateral segments of the cruciform ligament are known as the transverse ligaments. The superior and inferior segments of the cruciform ligament are known as the superior and inferior longitudinal bands. Okay, that concludes the unique features of the atlas and axis. Let's return to Jeff. There are 4 major injuries which can occur in the cervical vertebra. The one we are concerned about today, and the one Jeff has suffered from, is known as the Hangman's fracture. This occurs due to hyperextension of the neck, frequently seen in falls by elderly patients, and also occasionally road traffic accidents in younger patients. Hangman's fractures occur due to sudden deceleration. This results in compression of the axis's pars interarticularis, which causes the parts of the vertebra to become dislodged and may lead to spinal cord compression. The mortality rates vary depending on the cause, but severe spinal cord compression may cause immediate death. Treatment varies depending on the degree of fracture and instability. A surgical approach may involve screw fixation of the pars for best alignment. And there we go. That's the atlas, axis, and Hangman's fracture covered in 3 minutes. If you liked today's tutorial, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment down below with what you'd like to see next.